After a week of solo traveling in Peru, I ended my trip with a scenic train ride on Peru Rail from Cusco to Puno. One of the attractions beyond the Andes, this scenic train ride exuded elegance, excellence, and entertainment with the music, the dancing, the fashion show, and the Pisco sour demonstration as you're gliding through the most gorgeous landscapes in Peru, eating delicious food, and ending on the beautiful Lake Titicaca. So come with me to experience this luxury train ride.
Good morning, it is train ride day. The train leaves at 7:50, so they want you there at least by 7:20. I'm gonna try to get there by 7 o'clock because I realized on my ticket it has my old passport number, so I wanna make sure I have time to change it because that passport expired after I booked this ticket. And I'm taking this train ride with Peru Rail. If you don't know, that is the main train company here in Peru. You can take this train to Machu Picchu as well, a different route, but the same train company also offers really cool train rides. And so I took their train on my way back from Machu Picchu. If you haven't seen that vlog, I will link it in the description box below. But I'm so pumped and so excited for this train ride in particular because it is a luxury train ride. It's only $275, which if you've seen the prices of my Amtrak rides and other train rides I paid for, this is a little cheaper. It's very comparable to the one I took in Mexico that was roughly $260. So I'm excited to see how this luxury train ride compares to the other ones that I've taken. But before we get to all of the train shenanigans, I have to check out of my hostel, Selena in Plaza de Armas. It was really good to me, super spacious. Would recommend them if you are coming to Cusco. But let's check out all my stuff that's packed so that we can head to the train station. If you can't tell, I am on the train to Lake Titicaca. I'm so excited. It's so cute. I love it. This is where, you know, you can sit and enjoy the shows they're gonna have. I think the guy was telling me they have shows between 10 o'clock in the morning and 1 p.m. So I'm super pumped to be here and enjoying this train ride. They're playing music back there, so it's currently a little loud, but I have a whole little seat to myself. It's so adorable. I'm excited to see what the food looks like. I think breakfast is extra, but I think I'm gonna eat because I'm hungry. So I'm excited to see what they have for breakfast and the 3-course lunch too. Okay, I just finished eating breakfast and now I'm just hanging out in the bar car. There's a beautiful terrace out in the back that I was hanging out at and tried to get some photos and videos of the train on the curve. I'm trying to sit here because I know the dances start pretty soon and I want to make sure I get a really good spot. So yes, it's super cute. Love this. I will say it definitely reminds me of the one I took in Mexico, the El Chepe Express, but a little bit more. I think the food already is a bit better and it was really delicious. Yeah, I'm excited to see the 3-course lunch. My table is on the right hand side, but I think the better views are actually on the left. So if you're thinking about taking this train, see if you can sit somewhere on the left, or if you don't sit on the left side, you can do like I'm doing and just sit. There it is. And just sit on this side of the the bar car, because you get really great views, but obviously the open air in the back is also a good idea. Also, I think the breakfast is reasonably priced. My fried eggs and toast was only like 26 soles, and then my hot chocolate was only 24, 28 or something like that. So really inexpensive. I'll put how much it actually was in USD somewhere in the video, but I think the breakfast is really a good deal if you don't have time to eat breakfast before you get on the train, because we left around 8 o'clock in the morning. So unless you're super early morning eater, then you may just want to wait until you get on the train to eat breakfast. I was really excited to take this train because of the views. Peru has some of the most beautiful landscapes I think I've ever seen, and this just glides you through all of it. So there aren't as many stops, and I should get to Puno around 6:30 p.m. So it's like a 10-hour train, which if you watch my other videos, you know I've taken 52-hour, 35-hour, 46-hour trains. So it's actually pretty short for me. So just keep that in mind if you're someone who may get a little restless. It is 10 hours, but sit back, relax, bring some things to do. And they also have a fashion show, some dancing and music planned as well. So I'm excited to see what else they kind of have to do on the train for the next few hours.
Tren de viaje a la ciudad lacustre de Puno. A nombre de Peru Rail, la tripulación a bordo, músicos, cantantes y bailarines, les invitamos a disfrutar.
Tell I am in a slight food coma. I have the itis. The food was so good. I love the quinoa. They almost gave me the beef, but thankfully the guy was able to change it. I think he wrote down the wrong one, but the food was delicious. I honestly could take a nap right now. This is when I wish this was like a sleeper car and not just like a scenic train ride for tourists, because I would totally go take a nap. I am well fed. The wine was good. The chocolatey dessert was fantastic. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it. It's so rich and I'm so full. The bread basket was delicious. Peru Rail definitely got it going on over here. So let me go ahead and finish my dessert if I can. But your girl is satisfied. This is a happy itis, happy sleepy to the point where y'all know the food good when they put you to sleep. So what I love the most about Peruvian food is that it looks amazing and also it tastes amazing. Y'all know sometimes some places are like, oh, the food looks cute, but it's actually not delicious. Everything I've had in Peru thus far, including on the train, has been super delicious, very flavorful. Love it 100%. I haven't had a bad meal yet. Some of them were like all right. The ones that I had on my tours weren't like the greatest meals. They weren't bad either, considering it was included in the tour. But this train ride definitely has some of the best food I've had on a scenic train. I'm very satisfied, and shout out to Peruvians for paying so much attention to flavor and aesthetics and even the detail in what they put on their menus. I'm impressed and very happy tourist.
Livestock production has an outstanding quality of
Yes, Albilla and Italia. This is the reason that the name is acholado. El pisco puro, pisco mosto verde y el pisco acholado, como el que tenemos aquí en also 1 ounce de una onza de jarabe de coco. Con 2 o 3 gotas es más que suficiente. Pisco sour peruano. Ladies and gentlemen, with you our Peruvian pisco. That was for the drink. Now we will start our afternoon.
Okay, so we have a little stop at a market. We're only here for about 10 minutes. It is raining a little bit, but the train ride has been really good. Look at the train. It's super cool. Unsure of what town we're in, but you do get a very short break to stretch your legs if you are someone who needs some fresh air after being on the train for so long. It is, let me check my time. It's about 12:30. The train ride started at 8. Like a little stop right here. I'm not gonna buy anything because I bought enough stuff, but yeah, it's super cute. In the middle of the mountains. I forget how high it is. I believe it is higher than Rainbow Mountain, so it's kind of wild. I'm gonna get back on though because I don't want to buy anything and it's a little wet. So all good so far. A few more hours to go. Should be arriving around 6:30 to Puno. Okay, I have made it to Puno. Gracias, gracias. Gracias. Oh, it's so cute. They're clapping. They did all the work though, so shout out to them. Now I have to wait for my luggage, and my Airbnb host should be coming to pick me up from the parking lot to take me to the port to then take the motorboat to Lake Titicaca. So we will see. Here's my luggage. Okay. Good morning. We are back and refreshed in Lake Titicaca. If you can see, let me turn around. The water behind me or in front of me. I am in one of the floating villages of the Urals people, and I'm only here for a night, so I'm actually about to head to the airport to go back to the United States. However, I wanted to give y'all an update after the train ride last night, because it was a journey. It was a journey. So after the train, my person was there to pick me up from the train station. Super smooth. He had my name on like a little card on his phone or something like that. And we got to where we were waiting for the motorboat to take us to here, the village. And we had to wait a little longer. Thankfully, he stayed with me and he was explaining, like, because this taxi is organized by my Airbnb host, Vidal, like, he's going to sit with me. He's not going to leave me outside by myself, which I really appreciate. In like 7 p.m. in a new city in the country that this is my first time visiting. So it was really nice, super sweet. We sat there for maybe about 20-ish minutes waiting for Vidal's dad, I believe, to come with the motorboat. But we then had to walk down and across to get to like the platform where the boats were. And my gosh, it was dark. I had my bag. Thankfully, the taxi driver was carrying my rolly, but it made me regret the way I packed just for a split second because it was very dark. If you are considering coming to Lake Titicaca after taking the train ride, I recommend that you coordinate with your Airbnb host or your hotel to see what they offer you, which for this trip has been surprising. I've taken buses, trains, planes, motorboats. I've taken a lot of different types of transportation here in Peru, so definitely be prepared for that if you are coming as well. All right, now per usual, here are some off the dome tips if you want to take the Peru Rail train to Lake Titicaca. Number one, it only runs on certain days. I believe it's Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from Cusco to Puno. Generally a one-way train. You normally don't take the train there and back. A lot of people like me are flying out of Juliaca, which is something else you should know. So once you get to Puno, you probably need to stay at least one night here in Puno, or do like I did and take the motorboat to Lake Titicaca. However, you have to fly out of Juliaca, which is actually a place that we drove past or rode past on the train, and it's about an hour outside of Puno. So that is the closest airport. So when you're coordinating your shuttles, you need to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to get from Lake Titicaca to the mainland and then to the mainland over to the airport. And according to my drivers, it only takes about an hour to get from Puno to Juliaca, so it's not too bad, but you want to plan accordingly with your shuttle provider or your hotel provider or whoever you are coordinating your trip with to make sure you get to the airport in time. Or if you might want to take a bus, if they offer that, to Bolivia, because we are really close. Lake Titicaca is split between Peru and Bolivia, so we're actually relatively close to La Paz. So if that's something you're interested in, maybe you want to look into that too after taking this train ride. Another thing to know about the train is that the views are on both sides, but I will argue are best on the left-hand side. So I did switch a lot and sit in the bar car and back on the terrace to get views of the left-hand side as well as the right-hand side. But there are views on both sides. However, I found I leaned more toward the views on the left-hand side. As far as the 3-course meal, they do have vegetarian options. I actually had the vegetarian meal because they offered like a heavy meat dish for the main entree, and I just don't eat a whole lot of meat outside of chicken. So if you are vegan, I don't know if they would have any options for you on the train. However, they did have some vegetarian options if that works for you too. One of the things that I loved about the train was that there were different activities and entertainment. This is the first time I've had that on a train. On a lot of my Amtrak rides and even the train ride in Mexico, they didn't really have a lot of entertainment outside of just looking at the views and maybe telling you about the views on some of the trains. But this one, there was dancing, there was a Pisco sour making class, which I was able to actually drink the Pisco sour because I volunteered to be the shaker / bartender for a very small part of the demonstration. But there were dances, there was a fashion show. So the Peruvians definitely know how to make an experience worthwhile, which I loved on this train ride too. And my last and final tip is to make sure you have some cash. I've been paying cash for everything on Lake Titicaca. For the taxi, for the motorboat, and even for my dinner, it was 30 soles. So make sure you have cash. I find that a lot of places do take card in Peru, but some of them also offer discounts if you pay in cash as well. So I think having both is relatively important, especially for tips and for being over here on Lake Titicaca. I recommend having some cash. This Airbnb was only $48 and it comes with a sickening view of the lake, so relatively inexpensive. There are more expensive hotels on Puno on the mainland, so if you don't want to sit or stay on a floating houseboat village, then you can stay in some of the other bigger chain hotels in Puno and take a day tour over here if you wanted to as well. So it really depends on how much time you have and what kind of style of Lake Titicaca experience you want, but I highly recommend coordinating with your Airbnb host or your hotel. My Airbnb host was the one who offered me the taxi and the motorboat to get over here, as well as the dinner. And then if I wanted to go and take a tour of the village, which I do not have time for, unfortunately, I would have also done that through him. So those are some things to look for when you are booking your accommodations post train ride. But yes, this is the end of the train travel vlog. I hope you all enjoy coming on my journey of the Peru Rail Lake Titicaca train ride. I had a lot of fun. It was gorgeous. The food was delicious. So excited that train travel is something that I'm able to do, and I feel very blessed to do it as well. So thank you all so much for watching. As always, stay curious, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.